Welcome to this video for GCSE food preparation and nutrition. So, introduction to GCSE food. Students choose food at school as a subject, mainly because they enjoy their cooking lessons and their practical lessons, and that they are keen to learn more about nutrition and where food comes from. The subject assists the development of important life skill, knowing what to eat and its nutritional value, as well as knowing how to cook a range of dishes. It can also lead to a wide-ranging field of future career opportunities and university courses, and it can also help students have the confidence to apply for part-time work in the restaurant and retail industry. Many students are keen to know when they're going to be cooking, so pretty much practical lessons are held each fortnight and the double lesson is used, which means the remaining 4 hours of time is used for the theory work that will be conducted according to the exam specification. We do expect of our students to organise their ingredients ahead of the lesson. Rather than telling you last minute, they should also be getting their ingredients weighed out, measured and into bags and containers ready for the lesson. It is good practice to read the recipe ahead of the lesson and the instructions, as you would do for any exam or any assessment, just to know the actual process that you are prepared and you are organised. We do expect students to keep you informed of what they require in terms of ingredients. If in containers can actually be named, it is helpful so we can reunite them with them. And also collect their food products at the end of the day, and hopefully you get a chance to try them to give them feedback on their dishes. So this is the examination content which is covered, and you can see at the top we cover all the main food groups. And through this, the principles of area 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are applied. So in terms of the actual food commodities and food groups here, the students now have to know the value, so the nutritional value of those food groups, the features and characteristics of each commodity, with reference to how they should be stored, how they behave when they're cooked, so this is the working characteristics, and how different skill groups and techniques can be applied to each food group. For all the macro and micronutrients, students have to know the function. They have to know the main sources of those macro and micronutrients. When we discuss the dietary reference value, this mainly refers to how much a typical adult should consume. We do look at all the ages and stages, but it's much easier if students can reference the adult consumption per macronutrient. Students must know what happens to somebody if they consume too little or too much of the named macro or micronutrients. And equally, if there are complementary actions of the nutrients, so for example, vitamin C and iron will work together, that calcium and vitamin D will work together, but that if you combine two low protein foods together, you end up with a high biological value food and all the amino acids. This is about how certain nutrients can work together to enhance each nutrient. We will be looking at diet good health and the energy requirements of individuals. We will be expecting for students to plan a range of balanced diets for a range of needs, from diabetes to lactose intolerance and celiac disease. And within this, they should be able to calculate the energy and nutritional value of the recipe, meal and diet. Students also look at the science of food, so the effect of cooking, so things like dextrinization, caramelization, the Maillard reaction, how those change the properties of food, and how food deteriorates. So we look at food spoilage. We look at where food comes from, so food provenance, food manufacturing, factors affecting food choice, such as religion, culture, travel, income, age, that might affect food choice. We also look at preparation and cooking techniques, and then we look at developing recipes and meals. In terms of the course structure in Year 10, students will have assessments in Year 2, Term 2 I should say, 3, 4 and 5, based on the current topic of learning, and as in Term 6, all students will have Year 10 exams. Assessments will be based on the 6 content areas that I have listed here, and the area that we are covering at the moment, and students will be advised in advance of which exact areas are covered in the assessment. This is the independent study guide, and it will outline the pages in the revision guide that are relevant, as well as the online textbook, and I tend to highlight for each assessment which area is covered, as well as which Seneca assignment matches the topic that is going to be assessed in that assessment. In Year 11 is when we really build up to the final assessment that determines the student's final grade. We have a 50% written examination, which is 1 hour 45 minutes, which section A is based on stimulus material and section B is based on a range of questions to assess knowledge of food preparation and nutrition. This is combined with component 2, the non-examined assessment. This is 50% of the final grade. It is internally assessed but sent to the exam board to be moderated. The first assessment is a food science investigation. This is 15% of the final mark and is started in September. Assessment 2, the food preparation assessment, is 35% of the final mark. It will begin roughly November and December, depending on timings of mock exams in Year 11. Homework will be set by Seneca and Google Forms that we've created ourselves, and we aim to match the exam board specification and will track student progress. We will also conduct practical evaluations where students will complete a review of their dish, and this will replicate some of the questions that are covered in the evaluation of the second assessment, which is 35% of the final mark. So the homework is preparation for the assessments in Year 11. In terms of supports for students, we have the online revision guide, revision book actually, which is this textbook here, which can be accessed through this web link. This is the password for all students to use, and here you will notice that we identify which page number is relevant for each topic. We do have a revision guide that is issued through the library, and we will also have for sale the Collins revision guide that will enable students to revise independently and at home. And as stated, the Seneca assignments are listed here that match each topic area. In terms of supporting for students, we want students to be the better practice they are at making, the better outcomes they'll have in Year 11. So if you can get them cooking at home, if you can get them preparing and making dishes, all the better. But consider watching food presentation TV programs, how food is made, things like MasterChef. If there's any programs like Inside the Factory, these are all beneficial. And listed here are some of the types of skills the exam board, not all of them, but some of the skills the exam board expect students be able to demonstrate throughout the 2 years. If you do have any further questions, please contact the faculty leader for STEAM, and the examination board web link can be found here. Following now, we have some examples of student work from the examined assessments, and we also have some examples of the first assessment, which is 15%, which is the food science experiment, where students are setting it up as a food experiment, and these tasks are set by the exam board. Thank you.